Hi guys, we're Tim and Sandy and of course Pablo, and we love travelling around in our 2004 Mercedes Sprinter. For the next few weeks, we are taking on the east coast and central Tasmania. This week we head to the historical site of Port Arthur and wander around the 100 acres of property. We take little Willie for a spin before we head to the capital of Tasmania, Hobart, to the famous Salamanca Market. Welcome to our channel, The Sandman. Morning guys. So yes, it's a little bit rainy today and we're at Port Arthur, but I'm still excited to go see the Port Arthur historical site today. We're going to leave very shortly. I'm just going to have my coffee and Tim's going to have a shave because if you haven't noticed in the last video, it's a little bit rough around the edges. So he's just going to do that and then we're going to go and head off on the scooter. It's going to be a little bit wet, but I'm so glad we actually brought the scooter. It's given us a little bit more freedom that we normally wouldn't have. So we can set up, we can leave things on the bench, and we don't have to pack up the whole van to go somewhere. We can just jump on the scooter and off we go. So it's really handy. I'm so glad we persevered and brought it along. But let's go and see this historical site.
Love is like a roller coaster, but I'm trying to hold on. I don't want it to stop. Even though we fight sometimes and it feels like a war zone, I still care about us. How do you move on when everything goes wrong? I'm trying to find a way.
You can see in the background it's a little bit rainy today, but it looks very pretty. I guess it's a different perspective.
Can't forget about what we said. I just wanna.
So we've just got our tickets and apparently we're going on a boat tour first around the harbour for 20 minutes and then we get to go on a walking tour. But we got given these cards. We've got two of these cards, and apparently they're actually a convict that was here. I think so. I think that's work. And we just discover, we can match our cards to the story of this particular convict. So that's pretty cool. And we'll do that a bit later on. But boat trip first. Let's go.
I can't tell what's wrong or right. Should I go without saying goodbye? All I know is I need to be.
The 20-minute harbour cruise is included with your ticket and it passes the dockyard and the Isle of the Dead. This tiny cemetery island is the resting place for more than 1,000 convicts, military and civil officers, women and children who were buried here between 1833 and 1877. Remember those playing cards we were given at the start? Well, as it was a bit wet, we decided to find out who they were before we had a look at the rest of the property. My card was the Four of Hearts, which was Sarah Evans. She was a 33-year-old laundress who was sent here for 10 years in 1852 for burglary. Tim had the King of Spades, who was Daniel Nightingale, a 27-year-old blacksmith's labourer who was sentenced to 7 years for stealing a quantity of iron. The museum had plenty of interesting exhibits. My favourite was the escape attempts and what they used, but I'll leave that to you to discover when you visit. Time for a tour, I think.
I will tell you my 3 children are descended of no less than 6 convicts on my wife's father's side of the family.
The tour guides here were not only informative but very entertaining. First stop for us was the main and undoubtedly the most famous picture of Port Arthur you would have seen. This is the penitentiary. The lower floors had 136 cells and the men housed here were in heavy irons. The first floor, those in lighter irons. The uppermost floor accommodated 348 men in bunk-style beds. It was used to house prisoners until the settlement closed in 1877. The grounds here are just beautiful and well maintained. So from the penitentiary, we decided to take a walk up to the Civil Officers' Row, which included the accountant's house and the parsonage. It separated the senior officers and their families from the convict population and provided them with housing suited to their status. We were able to go into these buildings and see how they would have lived here. The accountant's house today operates as the education centre.
The asylum. You're on the phone again.
This beautiful building is the church. The church represents the important role of religion in convict reform at Port Arthur. Up to 1,100 people attended compulsory services here each Sunday. A lot of the stonework here was crafted by the boys from the boys' prison. This church also allowed multi-denominational services to be held.
Well, we're walking around the grounds now, and this place is absolutely massive. There's 100 acres, and there's just so much history here. There's so much to see, and it just takes all day to go round. And we're in these really nice gardens, even though it's very rainy at the moment. So we'll keep showing you around.
Yeah, we're about to go to the actual prison and see the asylum place.
Loony.
The asylum and separate prison was designed to deliver a new method of punishment through isolation and contemplation. Convicts were locked in single cells for 23 hours a day. So, they basically ate, slept and worked with just 1 hour a day allowed for exercise. You could actually go up to each of the cells and see inside, and each cell would give a story of the person who was housed here, which gave this a really eerie experience. And here we have the Commandant's house. The Commandant was Port Arthur's most senior official. The residence suiting this rank was built on high ground in 1833 and grew substantially over the years of occupation. Before we left, we had to pop into the gift shop for a souvenir and some gifts for friends.
So guys, as you can see, Tim is whistling in the background. He is doing his dishes. So we went for a bit of a ride in the scooter, as you know, and we've just come back, we've had dinner, and now we're just going to chill out and do a few things. I need to edit, and Tim is going to fix our heater at the front. But hopefully, yeah. But we will see you tomorrow morning. Bye.
Today, we're going to Hobart. All right, you can come too.
Well, we're in Hobart. And we are staying at the Showgrounds, the Hobart Showgrounds. It's actually not too bad. There was a mixed reviews on Wiki Camps, but if you can just take a look, I mean, we're on gravel, but we have power hookup. There's a dump point over there. There are other people parked here. There's also a grass area.
And a bloody great mountain that's hidden by clouds at the moment. But
Yeah. There's also laundry behind us, showers, kitchen. I don't see any problem with it at all. And it's only, how much was it? $30 a night. To be right near, 10 minutes away from the CBD, I find it perfect. So we're going to take the scooter and we're going to go to the Salamanca Markets. So let's go. Well, we are here. We've made it to Salamanca Markets in the middle of Hobart. I'm so glad we brought our scooter. I'll just show you where it's parked discreetly. Just behind me, you can see it hidden behind a park bench. Otherwise, we'd have to pay $5 an hour to park exactly there. And that's the reason why we didn't bring the van. It's just too hard, but
it wouldn't fit.
It wouldn't fit in the city. But yeah, let's go check out the markets.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go.
For me.
Salamanca Market is Tasmania's most visited tourism attraction and runs every Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m, rain, hail or shine. The market extends all along Hobart's historic Salamanca Place, from the silos almost to the top of Davey Street. With over 230 stall holders, the market includes fresh produce from local growers, hot coffee, delicious breakfast and lunch options, and lots of gift ideas and plenty of handmade products.
When I'm in this town, look at these beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me. Nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down.
Time for lunch at this cool little Irish bar, and yes, you can always count on an Irish bar anywhere.
We need to pick up the Sprinter.
A small toy Sprinter.
We didn't expect to see this in the city. This is Bascule Bridge, built in 1935. It's a single lane bridge which has the clearances the same as the tunnel on the main railway between Hobart and Launceston. It enables loading direct from ship to rail. The dimensions of the bridge these days imposes limitations to modern traffic.
So we found a couple of DJs and stuff just on
There's
street
buskers
corners and buskers and all sorts of stuff. So I'm thinking Saturday night, Hobart must just come alive. So I'm pretty keen to hang around this afternoon and have a drink and see what happens.
We hung around just a little and had a wine by the water, just in time to see this tall ship come in. We didn't stay too long though, as it was getting cold and we remembered we actually have to ride the scooter back to the van and Tim forgot his gloves.
So that's the view we have for tonight, folks. It is really pretty. I'm doing it from in here because we just scooted home and I'm very cold. So I've got the heater on. But that is a nice end to today. So, oh goodness, let me just spin around. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our episode and I hope you enjoyed Port Arthur and Hobart as much as we could actually show you in this cold weather. But please subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.